Hey guys, welcome back to the video. I really enjoyed the support from the last video. I know it wasn't that much, but I mean it all means a lot to me. The the fact that you guys have all taken time out of your day to come watch or come listen to my video, whether you're watching it or you have it in the background, it really does mean a lot to me. Yeah, I hope I can keep doing that for you guys. So without further ado, let's get into the first story. The first story today is called I Found a USB Stick slash the Long Face by 5 on r slash no sleep. About a week ago, I found a USB stick on the way to a PC repair business where I work part time. It looked really standard, just a small metal box. I only saw it because the sun reflected off the case. For a second, I thought that the pavement had just erupted into light. Anyway, I decided to take it to the police station at the work. But of course, because I work with the computers, the temptation to look at the contents was too much. There were a few folders with incomprehensible names and 3 others: case notes, training, and emails. There were about 100 emails, mostly unconnected, but a few were really interesting. Usually, I wouldn't go snipping through such private information, but I felt such a strange urge. In the end, I kept it. I think I'm going to hand it in to the police. So sometime in the future, I'm going to share with you the more interesting emails, ordered and format where appropriate for easier reading, and maybe you can help me decide what to make of it. From Matthew Howard, 1204 2012. Subject: Rebecca. Hey Dan, how's it going? I know we haven't spoken lately. I've been busy with uni and there's some drama. There's some drama been going on in my family, and I basically had no time. Sorry about that. I'm emailing because I need some advice. What's with the fucking Hotmail account, by the way? It's about Becky, of course. You helped me out so much going through all that shit with her. I think about her practically every day, but I've taken your advice. It's been difficult avoiding contact, but I managed. Okay, I still have her number, even though she deleted mine, but I blocked her on Facebook and all the other stuff. Well, until she fucking emailed me yesterday. She needs help. It's about John, the new guy. I want to punch his head in. She seems really upset. Should I reply? Thanks, Matt. From Dan the Man, 1204 2012. Subject: No. Matt: No, lol. Doesn't matter why. You don't talk to a bitch until at least a year after, okay? Good luck, Dan. From Becky 123456789. 1104 2012. Subject: Hey Matt, we need to talk. Matt: I hope life is treating you well. It's been a while, huh? Any girls in your life? The past week I've been thinking about you. A lot. I remember the moment when you said that you never want to speak to me again so clearly. I didn't mean to hurt you like that. I know my old address is blocked. I made this one to contact you. If it's okay, can we talk? John has been acting weird and I need some help. I'm asking you because, well, Matt, to tell you the truth, I'm getting scared of John. And you are the last guy I've been close to other than him for a while. And I don't want to tell my friends because they might judge him. Am I becoming a stereotype? Okay, if you don't immediately want to delete this email, please keep reading and I'll explain. But if you want, continue to ignore me and I will understand. And I really will never to try and contact you again. Last month, John tidied up the bathroom. Sounds stupid, I know, but he really went at it. I went in there and it was spotless. The surface gleamed. He'd put some sort of freshener down and everything was exactly in its right place. You know how much stuff I have? We can't fit both of our toothbrushes in the cupboards, so we lay them down by the sink. They were parallel to each other, completely straight, completely aligned. I was a bit freaked out, but I was also proud, you know? He just acted nonchalant, like it was nothing. Soon, the rest of the house is super tidy. All the books are ordered alphabetically, everything put away, the magazines on the coffee table stacked up in a square. I'm a bit weirded out, and I ask him, what's up? He says that it doesn't matter. Why would he be doing so much for me? My first thought was that he was cheating on me. I have his Facebook password, so I checked and nothing. His phone? Nothing. At the time, I was still suspicious, but not anymore. A week and a bit ago, I go into the kitchen and he's rooting through the cutlery drawer. He's picking up pieces of cutlery, examining them, and laying some on the counter and putting some back in the drawer. The ones on the counter are perfectly aligned. I asked him what the fuck he was doing, and he responded with, "We don't need all this cutlery, Becky. I'm going to throw these out." I said, "John, I know that's bullshit." And he got really angry, really defensive, so I left. Last night, I woke up at about 1 and John wasn't in bed. I heard him rummaging around downstairs. I snuck to the top of the stairs. Remember the coat hanger on the wall? We put a small bookcase next to it, and he was rifling through the books, taking some out. He was speaking to himself, whispering numbers and equations. I said, "John," and he looked up. I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Honey, there are 75 books on this bookcase. That's 3 times 25, which is 5 times 5. It likes fives." I was shocked and said, "What likes fives?" He said, "The long face," and then started sorting books again, ignoring me, I guess. I guess his behavior over the past month got to me and I snapped. I ran downstairs, shouted at him, and tried to put some of the books back on the bookcase. He grabbed at me, Matt. He fucking grabbed at me. I couldn't move. He was so strong. He pulled this free handbag and I thought he was going to hit me. He said very carefully, very slowly, "This bookcase needs 49 books, 7 times 7. It doesn't like sevens. It likes fives, okay? I'm going to have to train you up." I was so scared. I ran out of the house. Wow, that was longer than I thought. I'm staying at Alex's right now. Can you come over? Even if you can't help sort this out, talking would be great. Hope to see you soon. Becky. From Matthew Howard, 13/04/2012. Subject, I don't care. I'm gonna do it. Dan, I thought it through. I'm gonna talk to her. I don't care what you think. Matt. From Matthew Howard, 13/04/2012. Subject, holy shit, it's worse than I thought. Dan, sorry about being a dick in the last email, but I think I still love her. But listen, shit has really hit the fan, and at this point, I just need someone to tell. I went round to Alex's. Becky is staying there, and as soon as I knock on the door, she flies out and gives me the strongest hug I've ever felt. Her face was so red. I think she'd been crying nonstop since she left her house. Shit, I forgot you didn't know. John was being weird and she felt she had to leave, so I comforted her and got her some hot chocolate. Alex had fucked off somewhere. She probably didn't want to deal with Becky. When she had calmed down enough, she asked if I would escort her back to her house and maybe confront John. I was looking forward to that, let me tell you. When we got to her house, she told me I should go in first. On the doorstep were 7 neat piles of books. I slowly pushed the door open and called out to John. There was no answer. Becky had told me before that the house was tidy, but walking in there freaked me out a little. It was like the house had no inhabitants, had never had inhabitants. We searched around, and I kept calling for John, but he didn't respond. Every room was so fucking tidy and put together, we were both on the edge of saying, "Let's just go." And then I checked the bathroom. There was a trail of blood leading from the sink to the bath. In the bath was John. He was so pale, his arms slit from palm to elbow. I almost threw up and tried to stop Becky from coming in, but she did, and she threw up. We called the police, obviously, but while we were waiting, I noticed something. John was holding a small book. It looked like a diary. You know those moleskin things? One of those, and I took it. I don't know why. Becky didn't notice. She was pretty shaken up. Still is, of course. What should I do with this thing? I can't give it in now. Actually, when are you in town? I'd love to speak in person. Matt. From Dan the Man, 14/04/2012. Subject, meeting up. Matt. Wow, that's fucked up. I hope you're okay, man. Listen, I'm still away for like a month. 2 at the most. Don't do anything stupid, okay? I hate not talking in person. I'm so bad at it. You'll be alright. Dan. From Matthew Howard, 14/04/2012. Subject, the diary. Dan. I read the fucking diary. I guess it was written by John, and it explains his behavior. It's not really a diary. More an encyclopedia, I guess. Apparently, John believed in this entity called the Long Face. It doesn't really explain what it is, but lists loads of rules for dealing with this thing. It likes multiples of 5s, and will seek them out. It hates 7s, stuff like that. Pile things in this arrangement, etc. What a freak. Matt. From Matthew Howard, 1704-2012. Subject, I guess freakishness is contagious? Dan, the weirdest thing happened to me today. I was getting rid of some old DVDs. Holy shit, remember Four Lines? Such a good movie. And I noticed there were 5 DVDs on one of the shelves in front of me. It made me think of the long face. I laughed at myself, but as I went to put the DVD I was holding into the bag, I saw a face. On the bag, I mean. The 2 clips look like eyes, and the opening looked like the mouth. Yeah, laugh if you must. I got 2 DVDs out of the bag and put them on the shelf. The face was gone after that. I probably knocked the bag into a different position. Becky is doing fine now. She wants to move out of her old house, but the contract lasts until September, so she is going to try and find some replacement tenants. I know it's very soon, but I think I'm going to ask her out again. We should get back together. What do you think, Matt? From Matthew Howard, 2104-2012. Subject, I think I'm losing my mind. Dan, Becky said yes. I took her to that Italian place you love, and we pretended it was our first ever date. It was great, but listen, this long face stuff is freaking me out. I keep seeing it everywhere. I'll be walking along and a car will pass. The front of it will look like a face. I keep seeing faces in the froth of my coffee, and the shapes that buildings make. I'm going to make a confession to you, Dan. I've started counting things. The books and DVDs first, then the cutlery. I think it's because I heard that John counted this stuff too. Everything has to be multiples of 7. If they aren't, or even worse, if I see multiples of 5s, I see more faces. And each face I see looks angrier and angrier. As I'm typing this, I can see the speaker as eyes, the keyboard as a mouth. I know this bullshit is all in my head, but I can't help it. I'm having problems sleeping. Matt? From Matthew Howard, 2404-2012. Subject, it's getting worse. Dan, you know that drawer that everyone has? Filled with all the shit in your house that doesn't have anywhere else to be? Well, it's driving me crazy. I can't know if it's safe if I don't tidy it up. Matt. From Matthew Howard, 2404-2012. Subject, Becky. Hey Dan, Becky caught me putting all the screwdrivers in the drawer in size order. She left. Dan, she left. Matt. From Matthew Howard, 2604-2012. Subject, why aren't you replying? Hey Dan, I was walking to work today. I saw a car face and I was so scared. It was coming towards me and it looked like it wanted blood. I thought it was going to swerve and hit me, and that would be that. I figured out how to stop it, though. It was red, so I started counting all the red cars. When I'm counting, it seems to get confused. As I was walking into work, I was at 20. I pretended I had counted one more, but it knew. Tomorrow, I'm going to do blue. Matt. From Matthew Howard, 2804-2012. Subject, I just want this to stop. From Matthew Howard, 205-2012. Subject, why did I read the book? People need to be trained to reply. The long face, they need to know, but why me? From Matthew Howard, 205-2012. Subject, I counted the pages in the diary. 125. 5 times. 5 times. 5. Maybe the long face wants us to read it. What if I miscounted? 126 is a multiple of 7. I'll do it again. From Matthew Howard, 205-2012. Subject, we had a good one. Dan, I'm going to burn the book. Matt, if no one can read about this, maybe whatever fucking evil it is will just dissipate. Hopefully my emails haven't been enough to trigger it for you. Don't come over. Dan, we are no longer friends. Matt. From Dan the Man, 305-2012. Subject, I'm coming over. Matt, I'm back in a week. I'm coming over. Why the fuck haven't you answered your phone? Dan. And that's it. There are no more emails by Dan, Matt, or Becky. I thought about it for a while, and I reckon something happened to Matt. I don't know whether he succeeded in burning that journal, or what might have happened to it if he didn't. But something must have got him. I keep thinking about that last email. Why wouldn't he answer the phone? Edit. I tried to contact these people. It was a bad idea. Removed for your safety. Alright, and I found a USB stick / the long face. Now, going to our second and last story, because I didn't expect that first one to be so long. It's called My Ex Wouldn't Stop Texting Me, on r/no sleep by the username sleepyhollow_101. I miss you. I held off on getting a phone call for as long as possible. I didn't really have a good reason. I guess other than the cost, when I was just setting out on my own, there was no way I could afford the monthly plan. I was the only one of my friends to still rely on a landline, and it drove everyone nuts. I managed to wait until my 25th birthday when I finally felt financially secure enough to justify buying one for myself. My friends all laughed about my change of heart, but I could tell they were relieved. To be honest, I was pretty pleased too. As it turns out, cell phones are ridiculously convenient. Who knew? I didn't start getting the text until about a month after I bought my phone. It was the first message from an unknown number that I received, and it read simply, "I miss you." I was confused at first. What kind of introductory text was that? It seemed a little overdramatic to me, and that was when I made the connection. About a year before, I dumped a deadbeat ex-boyfriend out of my life. Looking back, I could definitively say that he was really something of an overgrown child. He expected me to cook, clean, set up his doctor's appointments, and give him half of my income each month, as he did not find it necessary to get a job. I shouldn't have stayed with him so long. Damn those devilish good looks. But once I came to my senses, I kicked him to the curb, as all his other girlfriends slash victims had done before. My guess was that he'd stalked my Facebook or prodded my friends for my new number. After all, this wasn't the first time he tried to reach out to me, and I figured it wouldn't be the last. In the end, I chose not to answer. For one, I knew he would just try to manipulate me if I gave him the chance, as per usual. For two, it would give me petty satisfaction to let him feel ignored and unheard. Now, as a rule, I try not to be petty, but sometimes such a perfect opportunity is just too seductive. The next few months seemed to corroborate my interference. His attacks weren't constant, but were always vague pleas that seemed to indicate that he needed a new host to leech off of, and couldn't find one. It was unsurprising that he tried to reach out to me first, as I'd been the most loyal and long-lasting of all of his girlfriends, and the most naive. I was the perfect target. The messages were always in the same vein, and quickly became tiresome. I miss you. I wish I could see you. I thought I saw you in a crowd today, but it turned out just to be a dream. Ugh, pathetic. One night, about 8 months since I had my phone, I slipped up. I have to admit, I've been drinking. It had started as one beer to help me unwind after work, and quickly snowballed into a one woman party. I was thoroughly smashed when I received a much longer text than usual. I miss you so much. I know you don't read these, but today of all days, I need you to know how much I love you. I'd do anything to see you one more time. Today of all days, I wondered. I tried to wade through the mushy haze of my brain. The first thought I had, I seized. Today must have been our anniversary. Sure, why not? It would be the perfect opportunity for a little manipulation. He was a prick, but he was smart. And then I had an idea. He wants to play games? Okay, let's play. But I'm going to change the rules. I swear my thoughts slurred. I began to type, and my autocorrect struggled to clarify through my drunkenness. If you want to come and see me, then why don't you? Why don't you do it? And then, just for good measure, I let him know that I knew he'd been investigating me. You know where to find me. I sent it, and with that, I changed fate. When I woke up the next morning, I had 13 missed calls. I try to remember, through the throbbing of my skull, just what bullshit I'd done that night before. I groaned when my texting history answered my question. Well, at least I hadn't answered the phone, I thought. I silently prayed that he wouldn't message or call again, but I feared that I'd merely succeeded in egging him on. To my great relief, he stopped messaging me. For a week or so, my phone was blissfully free from his assaults. I was secretly satisfied, congratulating my drunken self on her ingenuity. The next week I received a knock on my door. I opened it only to reveal a man with a badge, his sullen face and blue uniform, standing stark in the morning sunlight. His partner stood behind him, his face hard as stone. I felt a strange coldness seeping into my vein as they stared at me. Good morning, officers. Is something wrong? I asked. With very little introduction, they invited themselves inside. I let them in. not sure what they were looking for, but positive they wouldn't find it. I figured they'd made a mistake, and was even more surprised when they'd begin firing questions. Do you know anyone by the name of Silence Madison? I was stumped, completely puzzled. I can't say that I do. Why? We found a series of texts to you on her phone. We found only one reply from you. Then our officer pulled out a printout of the text that I'd been receiving along with my drunken reply. Reality settled down to me as the older officer asked, "Did you receive these messages?" "Yeah," I answered. I answered quickly, but they were coming from an unknown number. I thought they were from my ex-boyfriend. "And that's why you sent that reply?" I was sweating nervously. "Well, yeah. I thought it would make him stop." I couldn't stop running my mouth. I was a little drunk, so maybe it wasn't the best decision. The younger officer stepped outside as the older one sighed. "There seems to have been a rather unfortunate accident." "What do you mean?" He took a deep breath and opened his mouth. Silence had a very rough first year of college. Classes were hard. She didn't quite fit in. Her life was a mess of stress and papers. And just when she thought it couldn't get any worse, her best friend since childhood, Raquel Wagner, died in a car wreck. The death was instant, but Silence's pain was not. She had withdrawn into herself as the semester went on. Her family and friends mourned Raquel's loss, and of course, but they continued their lives as people are wont to do. Silence, on the other hand, could not bring herself to leave a friend in the past. She tried to deal with it. She really did. She really did. She looked for outlets. She tried to put on a happy face when she went to class, but she sank slowly into a darkness that felt inescapable. And when the darkness was truly thick, suffocating, insufferable, she texted Raquel's old number, a useless gesture, but sometimes it would bring her comfort. And on the anniversary of Raquel's death, when she was at her lowest, she finally got a response. "If you want to come see me, then why don't you do it? You know where to find me." She tried calling, but she didn't even reach voicemail because I had never set it up. So she'd done the only logical thing she could do. She'd reached for the box cutter. She'd swiped away from work and opened her veins to the possibility of infinity. I made a terrible mistake that night. A mistake that ended the life of someone desperately struggling just above the surface. Her father forgave me, but no matter how many times I apologized, her mother had nothing but hatred for me. I understood that, to her, I had been the final push to kill her daughter. The police told me over and over that Silence herself had ended her own life. I was not to blame, but inside me, the seeds of guilt spread far across my heart, growing like weeds that I just couldn't uproot. It was a long, hard year. I managed to get back on my feet and continue on with my life, although Silence's death hung over me like a shadow. No matter what I did, I just couldn't forget her, no matter how far away the incident seemed. Yesterday was her anniversary. I tried my best to get through the day pretending I had never heard that name, never heard that story. But it was going well until about 10 that night when I received a text. A text from a number I had been trying desperately to forget for the entirety of last year. "Thank you." And that was My Ex Wouldn't Stop Texting Me by Sleepy Hollow _101. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a little longer than the last one, and I do plan on making longer videos like this. I really do hope that the more videos are put out, the more fluently I become on just talking and stutter way less than I do. Apart from that, I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys have any stories you guys recommend or any personal stories you'd want me to read, please leave them in the comments down below. Well, thank you guys for watching and have a good rest of your day.